To everybody to Agri-EPI's very first Seedling Session podcast. The Seedling Session podcast series offers an opportunity for Agri-EPI members to showcase and to share their technology or offering within our membership base and the wider industry network to enthuse and encourage collaboration. As we build up our library of the very best in ag-tech innovation, you'll be able to listen back at your leisure. We will announce the details of all upcoming podcasts on the Agri-EPI Centre member group LinkedIn page, as well as on our website at agri-epicentre.com. If you've not yet signed up to the members LinkedIn page, please send us a request to join via LinkedIn or email us at members@agri-epicentre.com. And please do get in touch if you would like to take part in one of our seedling sessions to record a podcast with us. Thank you very much. So without further ado, I am delighted to introduce to you Luke Rutterford and Peter Barratt of Oxi-Tech Solutions. So would you both mind introducing yourselves and just giving a little bit of background?
Sure. So my name is Luke Rutterford. I've got background in forensics, pest control and specialist hygiene. And I've been part of Oxytech for the last 3 years, working in a technical function with Dr. Peter Barrett, who joins us.
Brilliant. Thanks, Luke. And a little bit about yourself as well, Peter.
Hello, yes, Peter Barrett. I'm Research and Development Director for Oxi-Tech Solutions. My background's really originally microbiology, but over the last 25, 30 years, I suppose more to do with water treatment and aspects of microbiology and disinfection around that.
Thank you very much. And so obviously the core innovation at Oxytech is ozone. So describe to us, what is ozone?
Right, I'll pick that one up. And ozone is actually oxygen by another name. You can see in the pictures behind me, ozone, atomic oxygen is an atom of oxygen. Ozone is 3 atoms of oxygen rather than the 2 in diatomic oxygen that we breathe. But the third atom of oxygen makes ozone quite an unstable molecule and therefore very reactive. So people will have come across it in lots of disinfection applications because it reacts very readily with microorganisms. But the nice thing about ozone is when it's done its reaction, it reverts back to oxygen. So it doesn't leave any residues and is, from that point of view, a nice green disinfectant and oxidant.
And you mentioned the word disinfection there a couple of times, Peter. So if we're thinking about on-farm applications, how can ozone be used to improve productivity, to work towards sustainability on-farm?
So there are several ways that ozone can help. What we're trying to do is displace some of the classical disinfectants which contain, often contain chlorine. Or other parts of the molecule which leave themselves in the environment. So the nice thing about ozone is that it doesn't really leave anything behind except oxygen and oxidized molecules. So it's quite clean from that point of view. So I think there are some environmental benefits. And the other thing is that from a carbon footprint point of view, our process produces ozone by a different means. So all we need is actually an electrical supply and relatively clean water. You don't need any chemicals. There's no bulk chemicals involved. So from a carbon footprint point of view, we think the impact on farming in various aspects of farming, particularly dairy, could be quite significant.
Sounds straightforward enough, doesn't it, on farm? So what other applications are Oxytech planning?
So we've got a range of applications. One of the problems with this technology is it's applicable to an entire range of applications, both through agri-tech and also in other applications. Everything from Legionella control, biofilm control, tank sanitation, animal feed water, huge range of applications. Food, CIP, clean in place programs. So we're trying to be really keen and focus on a few core ones within the agri-tech world to start.
A very versatile product then across the supply chain. In terms of bringing it back to that on-farm application, what have you already achieved to date? We've obviously seen a fantastic article in Farmers Weekly a few weeks ago that I enjoyed reading, and I know a lot of our members enjoyed reading. So can you give us a little bit more of a deep dive on what you have achieved on farm to date?
Sure, yes. Thank you for your comments about the article. A lot of people thought my mother wrote it because it was so complimentary, but it was totally independent.
It was very good.
So basically what we've done, we came in and replaced peracetic acid that was used in the cluster flush in the dairy parlour. Peracetic acid, as you know, is quite an aggressive chemical, and it's tied in with lots of health and safety issues with people getting burnt, cows getting burnt with it. And we've replaced 100% of that use for over 18 months in the dairy, and also replaced 100% of the sodium hypochlorite, which was used in the CIP wash. So both of those chemicals completely removed, and in removing the chemicals, we've removed the plastic barrels that they get delivered in, and all of the carbon associated with delivering those chemicals from mainland Europe.
So it sounds a bit like a no-brainer. So why has this not been picked up before? Why have we not already been using this innovation on farm for years?
Yeah, I'll pick that one up if you like. I think the thing is that ozone's been around for a long time, and I don't know if people are aware of that. But, well, it's been around since the Earth had oxygen in its atmosphere. But actually, as a technology for disinfection, it's been used for, and a lot of people listening to this will have their own, drinking water, that will be treated with ozone before it gets to them. It won't have any ozone in it by the time they drink it, but it'll have been used in a water treatment works, and that's been the case since the early 1900s. So the technology is there for producing ozone, but normally it's generated as a gas. Naturally, it is a gas, and the problem is then, if you produce it from air or from pure oxygen, you've then got to dissolve the ozone that you've produced in water. So it becomes a bit inefficient from 2 points of view. The electricity, the large amounts of high voltage electricity you need to produce ozone as a gas from a corona discharge system, and then the energy you need to put into it to dissolve it in the water. So our system is quite different, and we produce it electrolytically from the water itself. So all we do is we put a small electrical charge through our little cells, which sit in the water, and as the water flows past, ozone is produced, and most of it's produced in solution already. So it's a one-step process rather than a 2 or 3 step process. So we believe we brought the costs down for small to medium applications. I think there'll always be corona discharge for the big drinking water applications and pulp and paper bleaching and things like that. But so it's really quite different. So we think it's a bit of a game changer, we hope.
I had no idea that it was already used as an application in the water that's coming out of my tap as well. And I think it's an important point to note that your technology, your system brings the cost down, because cost, as we know, is a huge driver on farm. What would I need? What, in terms of equipment, would I need to run an Oxi-Tech system on my own farm?
Yes. So if you look across at behind Luke, actually, there's a picture of some parts of the apparatus. It's actually quite simple. A lot of it's electronics, actually, which is what we're used to these days in the age of the Internet of Things. So we have an analyzer, which is to the left of Luke's background there. And that runs the system. So the analyzer is linked up to a number of cells. Each cell has a little box, which are the 3 boxes to the right of Luke. Those cells control those driver boxes control the cells, and the cells sit in the water, and then as the water flows past them, so you need a pump and a tank, some of which is already there on the farm, and that's it really. So in fact, if I put up on my screen, if I can just take a moment to do this, hopefully it should work. I can show you sort of more or less what a system would look like. So obviously it's just a diagram, but you've got an adult person here, adult-sized human being in front of the system. You've got, in this case, 4 cells in a row. You've got 4 of those driver boxes, which you saw next to Luke, and then you've got the analyzer, which can sit anywhere. And this thing speaks to remotely, so you can actually access all the data that's being produced from the plant from the other side of the world if you want to, on your mobile phone, on your laptop. So it's all nice and interconnected. In this system, that's a typical size system for maybe a 200 cow herd for a milking parlour. So you can see the scale of it is quite small. It would fit neatly into the corner, and that incorporates the tank where the ozonated water is produced and the equipment I've just described.
And so it seems like it retrofits into any system then. There's no reason that this has to just be incorporated into a new enterprise or a new farm. It really can slot in with existing systems.
Yes, that's absolutely right. It's a plug and play system that we've developed. So even if you've already got an existing dairy parlour with a automatic plant wash and the cluster flushing, we can just come in and integrate into that, no problem at all.
So that's what's been done. What's next? What's going to be the new big and exciting development for Oxytech?
Well, I think when we started out on this journey, there are so many applications for this. We had to focus on some, and I think we've found ourselves for all the right reasons in agri-tech. So there are that is very much our focus at the moment. So milking parlours probably number one, but we are taking some tentative steps now into other aspects of farming, particularly poultry farms. So the quality there of it's all about biosecurity really, and biosecurity in the food industry is obviously key. No more so than today. So yes, so all aspects of water supply for animal drinking water, whether it's poultry, whether it's dairy cows, whether it's calves, and we're undertaking some trials at the moment in aquaculture as well. So there are all sorts of applications in aquaculture for disease control in fish farming systems, but also in other aspects of aquaculture like leisure fishing, where you need to keep equipment clean in between going from one lake to another or one river to another. So so they're just a flavour of some of the things, but there's a whole list of other things that maybe Luke, I think you referred to one or two of them later on, but we're definitely targeting later on, I think, things like Legionella control and really going downstream or downstream, I guess, into the where the milk ends up in the dairy products, food production facilities. So where the applications are much bigger. So we started in something which we think is small to medium, which is very easy for us now, and I think as we grow, they'll get larger and larger.
And biosecurity really is the word on everyone's lips, isn't it? It's been brought to the fore, and whether it's a dairy farm, pig, poultry, fisheries, it's of absolute utmost concern. And we're so glad that Oxytech have landed in the agri-tech space, because we obviously get to continue to work together. What has been your highlight of working with Agri-EPI so far?
Well, there's a question. Obviously, working with yourself, Cassie, it's been an absolute pleasure. But it's only just started, actually. I suppose really, we suppose we've been talking to you guys for a couple of years or more now. I'll be quite open with you. We're not experts in, let's say, dairy farming. We're not. None of us are farmers. So you people are, and farmers very well. You understand the market very well, and you've given us some very important pointers on how we could approach the market. You've been very supportive of our technology, and I suppose it all culminates in the real highlight, which is the fact that we're going to be working with you. I don't know how much I can say about it right now, but we've just been awarded a very, very interesting project, which we'll be working on together over the next few months, actually, in other aspects of dairy. So very exciting.
And we're really excited that we're going to be able to, actually physically work together on farm, and we look forward to continuing to do that. Before we wrap up, is there sort of any final comments from anyone that you sort of like to say?
No, I'd just like to say thank you very much for the opportunity, and just touching on your previous point, the Agri-EPI is such a wonderful facility for tech startups like ourselves to be able to work with people from industry, and we just think it's a great opportunity, and been very happy and very thankful to work with you all. So thanks for that.
No, thank you very much, and long may it continue as it will in a project. So brilliant. Luke and Peter, thank you very, very much for joining us for our inaugural seedling session. We hope you enjoyed it and that all of our listeners and viewers have enjoyed it as well. And tune in for next time, and we'll see who's up next. So bye to you both.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, thanks.